Spiritual discipline begins when you finally understand that your inner life cannot be left to chance. Just as the body weakens without training and the mind drifts without focus, the spirit becomes unstable without intention. Many people move through life reacting instead of aligning, absorbing instead of discerning, surviving instead of grounding themselves in truth. Spiritual discipline is the practice of returning to your center again and again, no matter how chaotic the world becomes. At its core, spiritual discipline is about awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your emotions, awareness of what is shaping you from the inside out. When you lack spiritual discipline, your inner world becomes crowded with noise, fear, comparison, impatience, resentment, distraction. A disciplined spirit learns to pause, to observe without reacting, to respond instead of being pulled by impulse. The first act of spiritual discipline is choosing stillness in a restless world. Stillness is not emptiness, it is presence. It is where you reconnect with what is deeper than your circumstances. When you sit in silence, when you breathe intentionally, when you withdraw briefly from stimulation, you are reminding your spirit that it does not need constant input to survive. Silence strengthens the soul the way rest strengthens the body. Spiritual discipline requires daily commitment, not emotional motivation. You will not always feel inspired to pray, reflect, meditate, or read sacred or meaningful texts. But discipline is choosing consistency over feeling. It is showing up even when the experience feels quiet, flat, or uneventful. Growth in the spirit often happens invisibly. Just because you don't feel immediate change does not mean transformation is not taking place. Another essential part of spiritual discipline is intention. Without intention, even good practices become empty routines. When you wake up, ask yourself not only what you must do, but who you must be. When you act with intention, ordinary moments become sacred. Washing your hands, walking, breathing, listening, all become acts of presence when done consciously. Spiritual discipline also means learning to listen inwardly. Most people listen only to the world. They listen to opinions, expectations, pressures, fears. A disciplined spirit learns to listen beneath the noise, to intuition, conscience, conviction, faith. This inner listening does not shout, it whispers. That is why stillness is necessary to hear it. Patience is one of the greatest spiritual disciplines, not patience that waits passively, patience that trusts deeply. Spiritual growth cannot be rushed. Answers unfold in their time. Healing moves at its own pace. Maturity develops day by day. Discipline your spirit to wait without anxiety. Free yourself from the illusion that everything must happen immediately. Spiritual discipline also includes a surrender, not giving up, but letting go of control. There is a difference between effort and force. A disciplined spirit knows when to act and when to release. It knows that some burdens are not meant to be carried, some outcomes are not meant to be controlled. Surrender creates peace because it aligns you with reality instead of fighting it. Another pillar of spiritual discipline is humility. Humility is not weakness. It is openness. It is the willingness to learn, to be corrected, to grow beyond what you currently understand. Pride hardens the spirit. Humility softens it. And a softened spirit is easier to shape, guide, and strengthen. Gratitude is a daily spiritual practice that transforms perception. When you practice gratitude consistently, you train your spirit to see abundance instead of lack. Gratitude anchors you in the present moment. It reminds you that even in difficulty, something meaningful remains. A disciplined spirit gives thanks not because life is perfect, but because awareness is deeper than circumstance. Spiritual discipline also involves guarding your inner environment. What you consume mentally and emotionally matters. Constant negativity, comparison, anger, and fear weaken the spirit. Discipline teaches you to choose wisely, to step Your reactions slow, your awareness deepens, your inner stability grows. You are less shaken by chaos and less dependent on external validation. You begin to carry peace within you rather than chasing it outside of yourself. A disciplined spirit does not escape the world. It engages the world differently, with clarity instead of confusion, with compassion instead of reactivity, with trust instead of fear. Spiritual discipline allows you to stand firmly within yourself while remaining open to life. Eventually, discipline becomes devotion, effort becomes alignment, practice becomes presence, and the spirit that once wandered now rests, alert, grounded, and awake. So begin where you are. Begin gently. Begin honestly. Choose silence when the world demands noise. Choose consistency when emotion fades. Choose trust when understanding fails. Train your spirit the way you would train anything precious, with patience, care, and devotion. Because a disciplined spirit does not just survive life, it anchors life. It transforms suffering into wisdom, and it turns uncertainty into faith. If you want more messages that deepen spiritual strength, inner discipline, and lasting peace, subscribe and continue walking this path of alignment and awakening.